From being in front of the lens to directing short films, Australian New Zealand Alice Englert steps onto the scene with her feature directorial debut, Bad Behaviour, which is about a former child star who attends a spiritual retreat in search of enlightenment and filial reconciliation. Alice, thank you so much and welcome to the For Your Reference podcast.
Oh, thank you so much. And thank you for that intro. And I love the word filial, eh? I didn't even know about it until I read it somewhere else.
I had to go on the internet because I'm familiar with familial, if you'll pardon the pun, but filial, I was like, oh, okay, we're learning. We're getting some words. It's great.
Oh, no. I know. I feel like there's a lot of people who are smarter than me. And sometimes, the film's travels, I'm definitely, I'm like, oh, thank God for other people. Like,
well, we're talking about the best people. We're talking about you. Congratulations on your feature directorial debut. I do want to talk a little bit about, I guess, your journey into directing. But first off, congratulations. The idea of making a film seems like a lot of work.
It is, yeah. It takes ages. It takes ages. And then you've done it, and then you talk about it for ages.
Are they going to say you do it and then you die and then that's it? And
then
that's
you're dead. Yeah.
It very much fits the tone of Bad Behaviour as well. I would love to know what the process was going from acting to directing. Do you feel like it helped in some sort of ways, or did it kind of refine your lens on what you were looking for?
Yeah, I think it really was a huge part of it. Also because I've been able to watch other people work much my whole life, because I also grew up around it. And then being an actor, just seeing how it all functions, and kind of being a stowaway in other people's, little universe drama, and getting, not drama in the bad way, just in the life way.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Like, I feel really, really lucky, and seeing what works. I mean, one of the things that I know really works is not trying to waste too much time telling people what's not working.
Well, it must have been really intimidating to give Jennifer notes, right? It must have been very intimidating to be like, can you do it again?
I know. It feels like, I mean, for Jennifer, it was kind of amazing because everything she did felt extraordinary and valid, right? And I mean, I think I got to work with a really incredible cast, and I think I just feel insanely lucky and spoiled, to be honest. Like, they were all very very professional, very funny and adorable, and so, not incredibly, no one, I don't even know what to say. I love actors. I think they're so amazing, and making the film made me love actors even more, because they take like your kind of sideways glance at a character and then expand it into this whole universe, and they know things and feel things that actually you'll never know. In some ways, I'm beginning to get to the point where if I watch the film, I'm like, what is going on with Lucy? Like, just, like she took it over, and it's like such a beautiful thing watching the kind of exorcism that actors do on things. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I was going to swear. I don't know if I can do that. That's right. The question was, did me acting get? Yeah. You know what? Also, just knowing that the lines have to eventually be said by somebody, and in a script, where like there's a lot of potential for chunky monologuing, and there's a character who is also in some ways occasionally performatively speaking. It was important to be able to that I felt like people could really say what they were saying, that that they could take it somewhere else if they wanted to, and that they weren't going to be sort of trapped in the tower of speech.
The Tower of Speech. You're a wordsmith of words as well, Alice.
Giving it my best shot.
I think that was like my main sort of takeaway for watching the film is you can imagine that it would have been very fun to perform the roles, which kind of goes into my next sort of question. It's really cool to be able to interview filmmakers because when you're watching things, you're like, hang on a second, like there's an opportunity to talk about that. And like a common sort of question that we ask is, you know, there's the talking of balancing from a story, from a tonal, from a pacing point of view, you know, like refraining a character for a higher sort of impact, you know, later on in the film.
Yeah.
This film from the start is full guns blazing. It's just like, which I really appreciated, but it was interesting because, you know, all those intricate sort of questions of like, how do you balance the tone? You're like, nah, we're in. Like, we're just gonna go straight for it. What I guess my question here is, keeping that in mind, what or how wild was the first draft compared to the final cut that we got?
Yeah. I mean, the first draft of the script, like I was there was a lot, everyone on the retreat. The retreat and the different characters of that world, you know, like I wanted to know all of them and I wanted to know all their cousins and I wanted to know their first kiss and, you know, we couldn't.
Hopefully not a kiss with the cousin, but.
No, yeah. Yeah, though that could be something they could talk about on the retreat.
A different retreat, yeah.
Yeah. It is interesting, kind of heartbreaking, like when you realize that to tell a story, you have to start finding some people less important. And, I just resisted as everything as long as possible. You know, it was just an experiment. I really wanted to just see how I didn't feel like it was going to work for me if some people didn't know who their character was while we were shooting, because if the camera was on them, you know, I didn't want them to feel caught out. I knew that there was the way that Lucy was feeling. I knew that the way the retreat would feel. We did need for all the characters to know why they were there and like where their politics were on what's happening at the retreat.
Yeah.
How aware of it or how completely in their own experience they were. So basically, I was obsessional and indulgent about everybody, and then edits were done, and now you get the much more consumable, digestible, you know, version of it. But
release the Englert cut.
But it was like, yeah, I loved it though because you can feel, or at least I hope you can, like I think you can get away with having the sense of real people, with having like a good character description because the casting was so much fun. Like,
yeah,
people are talented if you give them a character brief that doesn't just say like busty mid-30s, like
hello.
you know, but yeah, also I'd love to be called. Yeah, I'd love to be reduced to that as well. But unfortunately, quite flat. But flat 29-year-old. But
I think we've got our duo. We've got this. Let's take it on the road, Alice.
Musty 30s. Oh my god. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
we did it. We did a thing. We did the thing. I also love how you're burying the lead as well, because you're talking about all of these great actors and you're a part of it as well. I definitely want to talk about the dynamic between mother and daughter, but I also want to hear about what was it like? Was it you just couldn't resist? You needed to be like in front of the camera as well? What was that like?
Yeah, I think when I first thought about the story, because I was like 24, you know, I wanted a chance to kind of perform something where I kind of could relate to the physicality and the creatureness of of their presence a little bit more. I feel I've had the absolute pleasure of playing some seriously femme roles in my time, and it is something I feel I dress up for, and it is something that, like, in life I feel I dress up for as well. And I
as
love
opposed to being.
In my own self, I don't mind dressing up for it and being it. I can feel it, but for me, it's it's beautiful. I love it. It's not the only temple I want to make offerings at.
It's part of the parts that make us who we are.
Exactly.
But it's not wholly who we are. I get it.
Yeah, and I think I just wanted some more space for the goblin person that I also feel, and also even like the kind of just androgynous, asexual, almost asexual seeming but horny person that I think is often in the world, and that I really wanted to play someone who felt sexual and is wanting things from life without necessarily without necessarily getting out of their sweatpants, you know, or not necessarily being. I really wanted also Dylan to feel like a stowaway in life as well. That she is kind of trying to be enjoying, like, kind of invisibility and being just a part of it. I feel, there's, because she gets to see things and watch and feel the world, and I liked that, and I really wanted to be a part of it, and so I just kept saying, like, and I'm gonna play Dylan, and seeing if people would, like, tell me not that I wasn't allowed, and then nobody did, so I got to the point where I was like, oh no, I will have to do it. I will definitely do it now. And I just completely loved it. I feel so happy that I got away with getting to be in the film as well. It's not something I feel I need to do all the time. It was just this one was just, I wanted her. Yeah.
There's such an importance in the character, and I think there's that sort of duality. There can be comfortability as well as sexuality.
Yeah.
You can hoist them as well, but
exactly. Yeah, I think, and the other thing as well is, like, in the mother-daughter dynamic of it all, I felt like I could look after Dylan without overprotecting her, without trying to make her a pure, so I'm thinking about the housewives, and like, we're you're playing the victim role, everyone wants that. That's like the safest. It's such a strange way that human behavior works. I knew I could love her without just protecting her.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I wish we had more time because I believe in therapy, but the swaddling babies was a bit too woo-woo, but unfortunately we don't have enough time to get into that. We were talking too much about bosoms, and I'm absolutely here for that as well.
I'm here for that too. I'm a fan. I'm a big fan. Yeah.
We finish our reviews with a recommendation. So what would you pair with Bad Behaviour as a double feature? Oh
my God, that's such a beautiful question. I got to see, when I was in Sundance Passages, Ben's also in it, and I think it's an incredible film. Ira Sachs made it. It made me laugh and cry. Otherwise, Jaws, just because I think very different. But yeah, I think if you were actually, Passages is incredible, and Ben Wishaw's transformation from sweater-wearing retreat guru to just the most beautiful kind of elven woodland creature, but in Paris in a love triangle is it's unreal. It's unreal. Yeah, beautiful.
What a delightful festive films. Alice, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.